here. I think I met Sandra. I'm honoured that Julia thinks I can show somebody something that they don't know. I like to do that. I like to share what I know, and it's only what I've taught myself. So somebody else might have a better way to do it, but this is how I've learned how to do this. So I've got a list of some things, how to add notes to a PowerPoint and alter them, and how to set it up in presenter mode, and then configure Zoom so that you can present that and have your notes up to view without having to have a piece of paper and be looking at the piece of paper and then back at the audience. That was the only way I felt confident to actually present. And I knew that it was there, so I just had to find it. And then saving the recording and finding it again once you've saved it. If I can share screens. And so here's a presentation. This is a Zinzino customer presentation, and you can read the notes that somebody's already put on here. I've not put these notes on, but down at the bottom here, on the right-hand side, it just says notes. You click that, it opens the notes portion, and you can see somebody's been in here and typed in these notes. So you can have this presentation and alter it to you, and then you can just read off what you've written, what you've altered. And each slide has got a different amount on there. This presentation is quite long and there's quite a lot, but you can alter to whatever it suits you. And obviously you're going to put your name in and whatever your beginning is. So it's just like any other thing on a computer. Take out what it is you don't want and type in what you do want. And go on, and then save it up at the top, and it will save any of your notes that you've added to this. Now, to present that, you then need to put it into presenter mode. So if it's always on the first slide, up at the top here, I hope you can see where you actually start the PowerPoint running. And then down here, beside this little, there's these circles at the bottom with different choices. You click on the three dots, you can choose show presenter view. And this now is in a position for you to configure Zoom so that all the audience see are these slides, but you can read all those notes that you've got in there. You click on to the next slide, and you can see the notes that are coming up for your next slide, and then the following slide is here to remind you what's coming next. Now, I'm using a PC. It does look slightly different if you use a Mac, but it's just a question of working out what is what for you if you're using a Mac. And I can't show you that because I don't know. So at this point, you can do show taskbar, and it will bring up this taskbar for you to access the Zoom and set up the Zoom. Now I'm going to get out of this screen share, and I'm going to show you afterwards what I did to get into configuring this so that you can just see this slide and not the notes. I might actually do that first so that you know what I've done when I get there. Out of that state, I just did a little screenshot of what it looks like. So you're going back to your Zoom and clicking the share, and then you're choosing advanced, because in advanced, there's something called portion of the screen, which is just the bit around the Zoom, around the PowerPoint slides. And if there's a video on it, you need to make sure you're sharing the sound. So once you've done all this, clicked into it and shared it, you click the share. And if it hurries up, you're going to get this green box around the slides, which is showing the audience just what's within this green box. And you move that, you grab hold of it and move it around the slides. And so it's ready to present. And you need to do this before the time. So if I was presenting this tonight, I would go into the Zoom and configure it before everybody joined, before the audience joined. But if I now stop my share, and I'll do that in the background, what I've just shown you. So I've gone to advanced, click portion screen, and I've clicked share the sound. I don't think there's a video, but I'm just doing it because it's what I remember to do. So as you can see, this box here is what I moved around on the slide on the screen. So if I get rid of that presentation and bring forward this, make it into presenter mode. And you can see there, if this was here, you'd see part of the slide, part of my notes. But if I move it over the slides, you just get to see the slides and I can read my notes. And next thing I had to show you was when you're recording a presentation, how you're going to go and find it. So I'm going to go back into screen share. Hopefully it does what I want. And I get rid of my presentation. Just going to move my Zoom control. When you're ready, when you're finished with this slideshow, you can click it off up here. That's how it works in a PC. I don't know how it works in a Mac. It closes the slideshow and you can minimize that. So on my desktop, I have this. So if you're going to record, you click the record button and record to either the computer or the cloud. I like to record to the cloud, and that's what we do when we're doing our presentations, so that the recording is stored within the Zoom account, and the person who owns the Zoom will receive an email once the recording is ready to share, and you can share it from that email, or you can go into the Zoom account and share it from there. So if I go into a Zoom account, you can see so whenever you come in here, you normally get to the home screen. So if I've recorded to the cloud, I'll find it down here on the left under recordings and transcripts. And there's the most recent one I did. I was just messing about earlier on today. So I can open that and view it if I click on it. It opens in its own window. And I can see that and view it all the way through. There was actually something wrong with my Zoom account at this point. I don't think there's any. Oh, here we go. So if I, for instance, knew that the beginning of this I didn't want and the end of it I didn't want, I can snip it off using these little scissors. I can take off some of the beginning and the end, and then click this trim button, and it will shorten it down. So I can take out a small amount of a presentation of a recording, or if there's some speaking at the end or the beginning, I can chop that off. So I can have just what I want to show somebody. Click the trim, and it will actually make that trim for me. And it just takes a little while to do that. But in the meantime, I'll show you how to rename this. So there was 2 recordings on one Zoom session, and you can rename the individual ones. I always grab the date there first from there and pop it in there, and then put whatever title it is that you want in there and save it. You can share it from here with this share button, or you can download it. Now I always download them because I use Dropbox, and so I will store that in my Dropbox folder here. And if it's a Zinzino one, I'll pop it in my Zinzino Dropbox. I'll put a name on it. Now this one is an MPEG audio. It's not the video, so I cancel that one. And I save just the video one, and I'm just going to give it the same date as today and save it. And that is saved into my Dropbox, and now I can share it from the Dropbox, or I can come back into the Zoom account and share it from there. Or if I've had it on an email, I can share it from the email. You just have to remember, if you share the email and there's 2 recordings on the Zoom session, the person you share it with is going to get both recordings. So that was a kind of whistle stop pour through. If I get out of this screen share now, you can ask me any questions about anything you didn't understand.
Why is there 2 recordings?
Because I stopped it because I didn't like what I recorded the first one, and then re-recorded within the same Zoom session. And that sometimes has happened in our team calls. If we've got 2 calls, one after another, we might have a team call, then a presentation. If they forget to stop the recording, then there'll be, or if they don't get out of the Zoom and they do another recording within the same Zoom session, both of them will be in the one.
Okay. Can you show us how to set the background and add a webcam video on Zoom?
I think I can. I'll just check. I think maybe to set the background, let me just have a go and see what I can find. So if I go to the Zoom, I think maybe you have to do it in a different, we do, so when I'm usually speaking, when I click this, it'll give me a different, the box that pops up for me to open the Zoom with. For now, let me go and show you how to add a video. You need to go to advanced, no, I think it's account management, sorry. In there. Meetings, I think. Maybe account settings. Not been here for a while. I did actually do a little video that I should send you. Meeting. And find the waiting room. Maybe it's somewhere else. I thought it was on meetings. That's right. So meeting and then across to meeting. And then find the waiting room. So you enable the waiting room, and then you've got waiting room options and customize the waiting room. And then you can add a video. So I've got a video attached to my waiting room. So I've put a little note on there, unmute the video for sound. For some reason, whenever it opens to the waiting room, the video doesn't play unless somebody clicks on the sound. It's just taken a little while to actually show the video I've got there. So that is the one I've...
There's a nutritional gap.
But they have to switch on the sound. For some reason, it doesn't give them sound automatically. So you could have an image, you could have your logo and a description, or you could have your video. And you click in there and go and choose whichever video you've got stored on your computer that you want to play on here. And I think some people ring the changes and do a different one each month.
So this is the health protocol concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Short video. So you downloaded that from the video library onto your computer and then uploaded it onto here, yeah?
Yeah. So if why it's not allowing, oh, it's locked. So you see this here is locked, so nobody can change it. So if I unlock that and click in here, I'm hoping that it will open. Maybe it's not, maybe it's because that is also locked. Usually speaking, when you click into here, it will open onto your computer and you can choose the one that you want to bring to there.
Okay.
I cancel that. The other thing you asked me, can you remind me what it was? That
To the background, but you can't do that while you are on the Zoom, I assume.
I don't think I can.
Yeah. And to change when you're presenting, how can you change between two PowerPoint presentations?
Okay, so I've got two open here. So once you've set up your Zoom and you're presenting in this presenter mode for one, you can access the taskbar when you click there. And so you can then open a second one. And you can either access it as a PowerPoint, like that. If you want to show them the actual whole PowerPoint, you would have to get out of the screen share. Then you can go and find whatever it is within that PowerPoint you want to show them. If you then want to switch back to the one that you originally were on, you go back to that.
Okay.
So you can have as many PowerPoints open as you want. So when you put one into presenter mode, you have 3 versions of it open. You've got the one that's open, the actual file, then you've got it in the slideshow, and then you've got it in presenter mode. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
The third one. So if I was to have put that one into presenter mode as well, for why it's not, maybe you can only have one in presenter mode. It's not giving me the little dots down here to open that also into presenter mode. But if you just want to pull some slides from another one, you can have it ready to go. You can just show that.
Okay, yeah, I can see. So I could open already, pre-open X amount of slides, and then in case I want to just, it comes up in the presentation, the question, I can just pull it up.
Yeah, because if you remember, if you realize the audience is only going to see this little bit of a square.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just try, because it might not allow us to have more than one in presenter mode at the same time. I'm going to go to that portion of screen and share. See, I don't think it's going to let you have more than one in presenter mode. So you would have to stop your screen share and mess about with it. But you could do that. You could open, like, if you finished with one presentation, go and open the next one. If you get out of presenter mode with one, and then open the next one in presenter mode and then move on.
Okay, yeah,
But yeah, you can do as many as you want.
amazing. Does anybody else have any questions?
I just think that's very interesting, Jenny. Thank you for that. I didn't realise you could get a transcript up on the side, so I found that very valuable tonight.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to run this, because I feel too many people are too scared of Zoom. And don't get me wrong, I have actually never used this because I didn't even know this existed. And I think I have done so many presentations now that if it's my same presentation, I probably wouldn't read this. Yeah, if something would be written there that Jenny wrote that I'm supposed to say, I would probably just do what
Yeah.
I'm used to anyway.
Yeah.
But if it would, if this was obviously and would enable you to talk about a subject, because I thought it's a lot of text, so I found it very complicated. So I think what I would do is I would put bullet points of the thing, because then I think then it will sound more natural than if you actually would read this entire text out, because you have to, even you are looking at the same screen, they will see that you are reading. But if there's only bullet points of things that you want to remember about it, then I think that would be enough and should be enough for most of us to do the most basic presentation, because our presentations, each slide has very little information.
Yeah.
This is a cell. The lipid layer, the lipids form the cell membrane, and it should be, perishable, so nutrients can be absorbed and waste product can be secreted. Boom, done. Yeah, you have seen five bullet points, because it's not going to be your very first time seeing this presentation. It will just jog your memory. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, these were the 5 key things we are talking about this slide. And then you just do it naturally and then flow. And always remember, whoever watches your Zoom 9 times out of 10, particularly customers, they don't know that Ruth would say, yeah, they are seeing it for the first time. Only you know that Ruth would have done this, slide with 3,000 words. They're going to be happy with your 150 words, because for them, it's more than they know.
It is just about practice, isn't it? And as you say, and I think the more you tune in and you listen to everybody's presentations, there's pieces in there that you really like, and you can tailor make your presentation along the same lines, but just with a few tweakments. Jenny, you wouldn't know how to sync Zoom into a Facebook group, would you? So if you have, say, sometimes 2 people talking in Zoom, it looks better than if you invite someone into a Facebook group and they come up below each other. Sometimes they look a bit cut off.
No, I wouldn't know actually, but could you change your Zoom view? And so if you're running the Zoom, you've got 2 sides.
2 presenters, right?
It's up at the top with the view button.
Okay, thank you.
If you record
speaker or gallery or speaker.
I was going to say, if you record, how can you make sure you don't see everybody, all attendees on the side down? What setting do you have to choose?
You want speaker view, but it's more when you're going into the screen share. Let me just have a look. You've got 4 different choices: presenter layout. You've got content only, which will only give the slides or the screen that's shared. You've got as a background, so you're sitting in the corner of the screen, and then you've got over the shoulder, which is separate, and then you've got side by side. I would just recommend playing around with each one, recording it to see what that particular setting looks like when it's recorded, and choose whichever it is that you want.
I also think that there is a setting that if we do want to say use Zoom but stream it into a Facebook group, there must be a setting that we need to sync. I did
Yeah,
it years ago in COVID, but I can't remember how I've done it.
yeah, definitely. On the North American Facebook group, Carla uses that all the time.
Yeah.
So it's running, so she's on the Zoom with talking to the person and recording it, and it's playing at the same time in Facebook.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm sure if you contacted her, she'd share it with you how to do it. Or
Okay. Well,
good,
thank you.
good old Chat GPT might help you.
Oh, that's true. I'll give that a good
And
old chat GPT.
I like that you just said record a bit of the Zoom because I always set up a different device in a different room and I run over to the other device and look what it looks like on the other screen. This seems much easier.
Yeah,
And another thing I think is quite clever in Zoom is to put captions on also, because this is me obviously from a hearing disability, but sometimes people might like to tune into our Zooms, but they're in a room with somebody else and they'd love to hear it, so they might just watch. If we have captions on, there's a bigger uptake as well for captions.
yeah. And you can just toggle that on and off from your taskbar as you do it. I'm assuming if you do that, then it would record. If you have it on recording and then do them, it
I
would
think,
be recording.
yeah, and I think we can also change. Well, I do know sometimes when I come in on, I don't know why, Ruth's Zoom calls, it comes up in Dutch for me. I can't understand it to start off with. So then I play on the side and it goes back, you can click on English. So
Yeah.
there are a few really good tools in here that we can use.
It's just like back to when kids are learning, they just click everything and they're not scared of breaking anything, and they just click, oh, what's that? And they know so much more than us because they're just not scared of wrecking it or breaking it like we are.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yes,
So
it is.
I think that's everything I wanted to show you, unless there's anything else.